So imagine that instead of unorganized email threads, your buyer can log into this client portal. They can go into any ongoing transaction that they have, look at the current status, find what tasks they now have to complete, mark them completed when they did so, add any new notes, as well as review the earlier notes that they added or you added. And also there is a link to the related documents here, which is now stored in Drive. Today, we'll go step by step over creating an experience like this without any code, but fitting your specific data structure and workflows, no matter how they look like. So all we need to get started is some of our data in a spreadsheet. Of course, it could be more complicated, but I have decided to choose a simple example. So we have transactions here, which has some information about the related property as well as the status of the transaction. We have some basic contact data of the buyer, and we have notes and tasks which are matched to the transaction through this transaction ID column, so the system would know which transaction they belong to. So for this build, we will be using Zite by Fillout. Of course, you can find the link to it in the description. It's an affiliate link, so I appreciate if you use it. And Zite is nice because we can connect our existing data in a Google Sheet or in Airtable to it. And then it can really understand the structure of that database using its AI and build out an initial starter app from a prompt. This one part is important, that we have to specify it to only use Google Sheets as data source, because otherwise it can try to make up something else. I have seen that. But overall, the more specific we are, the better the result will be. So I really like to specify more or less what we will see on every screen and every element. Also specify what the user will be able or should be able to change and what not. But if we are doing it like this, then I think the results, at least for an initial prototype level, are going to be pretty good. So now it's getting close to finishing after around a minute of working on this build. And what we will see once it's done is that we can preview how it's going to look like as a user. It really didn't add anything that we didn't want it to add, not even a menu. So I will ask to add that for us, and also the document link. We can practically use it as an LLM similar to ChatGPT, that we can ask for different changes on the left side. I can also test that the notes functionality genuinely works, because that's what we allow our client to do, to actually add it, to add the new note. And the rest of the other things are read-only, but the task can be ticked and unticked, which also synchronizes back to our Google Sheet without any problem. The question that we have left is, what are some manual tasks that we can automate here? So even though we have a user-friendly and easy to understand portal for our customers, some of the tasks on the backend are still manual for now. So let's look at what are some of the things that we can do to reduce this manual work. And for our automations, as usual, I will be using NA10, which is one of the major no-code, low-code automation tools currently available, but all of these would be possible with Maker Zapier as well. So we are choosing our trigger, which is going to be on row added or updated. We have to choose the worksheet and the document we work with. Then we will also set up a filter to make sure that we are not trying to recreate a folder that was already created. We are going to check that the drive URL is currently empty and also that the status is in the correct value. And once we have done that, then we will choose the create folder from the Google Drive node, and we choose the parent folder that I have created in the drive, in my drive, which is just named transactions, and under it we will create a subfolder with the name of with the email of the customer, which is a unique identifier of them. After we done that, we want to update the specific line in the sheet. So we get the transaction sheets again. We choose the ID to match on. That we will update the same row that we're originally working with in this workflow. And after that, we will choose what we want to edit, which is in this case only the document's URL, and that one we can get from the create folder comments output. We need to add the general Google Drive URL in the beginning to make sure that it's a full URL. We can get that from the ID. And then the other task that we want to do is to create an initial task. So this is sort of an example to see that we are able to do that quite easily. And depending on what kind of tasks you would or what other records you would like to always sort of scaffold whenever a new transaction or new customer is added to the database would of course be up to you. But in this scenario, we are adding a new row with the transaction ID, of course, being the same as the transaction ID we're originally working with. And then here I am going to set a specific task name and task description. So at the end, we can test it. We can see that it actually happens on a new row. And now we can see that the task was added to the end of this table. And we can also see that if we go back to the portal, we can see that the new task was added, and as a customer, we can also mark it as completed. So let's look at what are the limitations of both Zite and building applications with AI in general. The main thing is that it's not truly no code, in the sense that what the AI wrote at the end of the day is a bunch of, well, code. So if we want to totally make sure that we understand what happens, we would need to go through this line by line and inspect the logic, which would sort of defeat the purpose. So it's going to be a bit of a black box. And what that can lead to is that there might be unexpected issues arising, which we just couldn't really think of. Also, securing our data is going to be pretty hard with an AI app builder because, again, we cannot understand all the workflows, or it would require an unreasonable effort to understand exactly what's going on with each step. So it's really hard to totally pin down who can access what, who can edit what, because there might be unexpected situations where someone can access something that they shouldn't. By the way, we at Smoothwork specialize in building client portals such as this, as well as other types of portals and automations. So if you wanna make sure that you're doing everything correctly for your business, make sure to book a free consultation call. You can find the link in the description. And also don't forget to subscribe for more business automation content. For this video, I also tested out Softr with the exact same app client portal idea with the same Google Sheets backend. And what we would really see there is that while it does end up building something that's going to be a lot less similar to what we wanted as an output, so we would definitely need to work on this quite a bit more. However, the benefit here is that we know exactly how everything works, and we really wouldn't expect to get any behaviors any time down the line that we were not aware, which can quite easily happen with any AI app builder such as Zite. In conclusion, I think Zite is currently great to build a first prototype of a portal that you would like to set up, and also to use it for generally less critical workflows with data that's not too sensitive. For something more robust and stable, I would look into something like Softr, which requires more time investment in the beginning, but you can always make sure that it's going to work as expected. The links to all the tools that we used in this video are down in the description, and also our booking link if you would like a free consultation call with us about automation or portal building projects. See you in the next video.